The full NFL schedule just released. Let's look over the Baltimore Ravens schedule for the 2024 season and talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. If you want to see that daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. I apologize there hasn't been a video in the last week or so. The issue is my microphone has not been working. I actually recorded a video talking about the Ravens against the Chiefs and recorded the entire thing, went into editing, and even though the microphone is like taking in everything and everything looks fine in the systems, when I'm listening to it, it is like the worst quality you could ever imagine. You can't understand me. So I'm going to try and get that fixed. So I'm using just my computer microphone. So I apologize for the audio quality. A little bit worse than usual, but wanted to still get something out there talking about the Ravens schedule. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my phone, looking at the Ravens schedule. But let's jump right into it. Obviously, Joshua and I will probably talk about this to more extent. This is just kind of my initial quick reaction. First off, Kansas City Chiefs game, week 1, game 1, set the tone early. I absolutely love playing the Chiefs, especially on Thursday Night Football. We also get to see Derrick Henry's first game against a team that we, as Ravens fans, feel like, hey, if the Ravens had run the football, they should have won that game. Well, now we get to test that theory out. Run the football, see how Zachary Orr does as his first ever game calling the defense, and it's against the best offense in the NFL most likely, or at least the best quarterback in the NFL. But I don't want to talk about that game too much, obviously. I want to kind of get through this a little bit quickly. Week 2, Sunday game, 1 o'clock at home, or I'll say in Baltimore against the Raiders. So back-to-back AFC West. Nothing special about that game. It's a good thing that we're not playing like the Bills week 2 right after we play the Chiefs. So a little bit of a rest. I'm not saying the Raiders are bad by any means, but they're not the Chiefs. Week 3, this is a massive game. This might be my calendar circled game. Like, this is the one I can't wait to watch. We've got Ravens Cowboys. Week 3, Cowboys, one of the most fun teams to watch. Obviously, the Ravens are fun to watch as well. And seeing how the two teams face up against each other, Cowboys, one of the best teams in the NFC, will be competing for that number 1 seed. And obviously the Ravens, they don't get to play them that often, right? We've seen Lamar against Mahomes. We've seen Lamar against Josh Allen and all these other guys. I think the Cowboys are going to be the best team that the Ravens are facing outside of the AFC. And so I think that's going to be a really fun game to watch. So that's the game I'm really looking forward to. I would love to be able to go to that one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, though. Week 4 at Buffalo, primetime Sunday Night Football. This is another game I love when the Ravens get to play in primetime, especially against the other top quarterbacks in the NFL. So we get Lamar versus Mahomes, and now Lamar versus Josh Allen. Those 3 players right there are the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL. And shocker, I think the Ravens are also playing the 4th and the 5th best quarterbacks in the NFL in prime time as well. So that is the top 5 quarterbacks we'll be playing against Lamar Jackson, all in prime time. Absolutely love that for Lamar. But huge game right there. Followed up with the Cincinnati Bengals. This is the on-the-road game, week 5, just a standard 1 p.m. Eastern time. Again, this is a difficult schedule. Like, that's probably 4 playoff teams in the first 5 weeks. Very different from last year's schedule where the first half was a little bit easy, and then the last half was just playoff contender, 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 and there felt like there was no break. This year, start off difficult, then play at home, play in Baltimore against the Washington Commanders. Week 6, nothing special about that. Potentially a Jaden Daniels rookie quarterback, so probably the first rookie quarterback the Ravens will be facing off against. I love facing rookie quarterbacks, especially with this Ravens defense. Next up is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, week 7. Another primetime game. This one surprised me that it's in primetime, but Monday Night Football, week 7, Baker Mayfield against the Ravens. Baker usually plays relatively well against the Ravens, so it could be a fun matchup right there. Hopefully this is one of those primetime games where we see the Ravens beat the brakes off of the other team. For some reason, they love to give the Ravens lesser opponents sometimes in primetime. Hopefully this is one of those situations where the Ravens just play well and completely dominate. But that's, Washington was kind of take the break. You can switch off. You're no longer playing like contender after contender after contender. Next up is the Cleveland Browns. This one at Cleveland. So the first two AFC North rivalry games are going to be on the road. So Cleveland on the 27th, Sunday, and then Denver week 9, potentially another rookie quarterback right there. So that's 2 rookie quarterbacks potentially so far through the first 9 weeks. And I don't think the Broncos are anything special. And then the Ravens, Thursday night football against the Cincinnati Bengals. So 2 Thursday night football games this year. A little bit unfortunate. I prefer just to play one just because it's a shortened week. But the benefit about it is the next week is the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it gives us an extra long week to prepare for Pittsburgh. But again, I said I think the Ravens are playing the top, including Lamar Jackson, the top 5 quarterbacks will be playing in prime time, right? Lamar's facing number 1 Mahomes, number 3 Allen, number 2 Allen, wherever you want to put Allen. Burrow, I have Burrow at number 5, so right there, perfect. Facing off against him, and then Pittsburgh Steelers the next week, and then the next Monday. So another extra day of break, and we face off against. We finally get to face Jim, brother of John, and Justin Herbert would be the final top 5 quarterback. I got him at my quarterback 4 spot. So just a massive start of the season in primetime. The Ravens have 5 primetime games, I believe it is, in the first 12 weeks. Complete opposite of what the Ravens had last year, where I think they had 4 primetime games, and all of them were after week 8. And 3 of them were in a span of 4 weeks towards the end of the season with the Rams. I'm sorry, 4 of them. Jaguars, Rams, Niners, and actually Dolphins wasn't primetime, I don't think. But 3 out of 4 weeks was primetime games. So very different from last year. But again, I think this is it's more of a balanced schedule than what we've seen in recent years of, hey, some really good teams that you're going to have to play. The Ravens are when you're a 1 seed in your division, you're going to face all the other 1 seeds, and the 1 seeds in the AFC are really good, right? It's always going to be the Chiefs. It's always going to be the Bills. And it's probably always going to be the Texans or the Colts. Both teams are solid. And we don't play the Texans until late in the season. But after we play the Chargers, big game against Philadelphia. This one's at home. So one thing that I am noticing about the schedule is the Ravens are back and forth. They're not playing home, away, right? If you look at the schedule, I'll go through it actually at the very end. I'll talk about the home versus away. But after the Eagles, big time matchup. This is a 4:25 game time. So good afternoon game. Bye week, and then it's Giants on Sunday, Saturday against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then unfortunately a Wednesday game on Christmas against the Houston Texans. I don't like that. I like playing on Christmas when it makes sense. Saturday games, Thursday games, Sunday games, Monday games. I like that. I don't really like the midweek games because the Ravens now are playing Saturday, Wednesday, and maybe Saturday again against Cleveland in Week 18. But, I mean, if you're looking at it at the 15th to the 25th, you're playing 3 games in a span of 10 days. I don't like that at all. But finishing off against an AFC North opponent, I do like that it's finishing off against Cleveland. I don't like finishing against Pittsburgh, and I don't like finishing against Cincinnati. I think Cleveland is the worst team in the division, depending on who the Steelers decide to start at quarterback. I'm pro field, meaning I want the Steelers to start Russ because I think Russ is worse. But overall, I'll mention this again. This is the Ravens' schedule in terms of home versus away. Away, home, away, home, away, home, away, away, home, home, away, away, home, bye, away, home, away, home. That's nice because you're not forcing your team. Obviously, it's always great to have the home stretches, but you don't want to have those away stretches because it just gets really difficult on your body, really difficult to travel. Another thing I love about this schedule is the Ravens don't have to play in London. They don't have to play in Germany. I don't like when they have to go out of the country. I think it just hurts the team. It hurts the system. It hurts the schedule. It's just a really weird time to play. It's cool for the NFL trying to be more global, but personally, I would much rather just the NFL at least stay in the North America. I'm totally cool with the Mexico City. If you want to play in Toronto, you want to play in Vancouver, cool, go for that. I don't necessarily like the huge travel because I just think it wastes an entire day for these teams, and then watching it's really hard to watch for, especially people on the West Coast. Like if you're a Seahawks fan and they're playing in London, like that's I think it's like a 6 a.m. kickoff, 5:30 kickoff. So not really very fun to try and wake up for those. But overall, I think this is a really decent schedule. I don't think the Ravens got kind of gypped in any means. It's just not a huge fan of the Christmas game being on a Wednesday. I would have liked it if maybe the Ravens bye week was right before that, or maybe they played Thursday night football against the Giants, and then they played Steelers Saturday, and then the Wednesday game. So at least it just gives you more time to rest in between the games. Just a little bit weird. I guess the NFL is now trying to just do Christmas Day games every year, which I think that's kind of dumb, honestly. I think NBA having Christmas and the NFL having Thanksgiving makes sense. And obviously when Christmas is on a Sunday or a Saturday, obviously you're going to play games then, but don't really like playing on Wednesday. But some really great matchups, some awesome primetime games. I don't think there's going to be a boring stretch of the season. Like even when the Ravens are playing lesser opponents, right? Teams like the Commanders, teams like the New York Giants, they also face off against the Denver Broncos, right? There's some fun rookies at least, right? You could see Jaden Daniels as a rookie most likely, potentially Bo Nix for the Denver Broncos, and Malik Neighbors, who a lot of people love at wide receiver for the New York Giants. So some fun games this year. Very excited to see what happens. Obviously the game's on Netflix against the Houston Texans, but let me know in the comment section down below your guys' thoughts and opinions on the schedule. I won't give like record predictions or anything like that until right before the season. I just like to see the full off season, see how training camp goes, see how rookies are expected to play, see how preseason goes. But let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts, your opinions. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you again next time.